Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we learnt about the project's linkages with organizational goals. In this lesson we'll learn about the key business drivers for all type of organizations, and metrics which help in monitoring the performance, and how do they impact the organization. We'll also briefly go through the steps to develop these metrics and scorecards. Productivity gains through continuous process improvement can contribute to profitability by supporting both revenue growth and cost reduction. In this context, leading organizations increasingly emphasize continuous process improvement through data-driven decision-making to achieve these benefits. Now, to enable a data-driven decision-making, organizations need business drivers which are quantified and organizational goals are defined. Let us understand about these business drivers. A business driver is a resource, process or condition that is critical for the continued success and growth of a business. A company must identify its business drivers and attempt to maximize any that are under their control. These business drivers may include profit, market share, customer satisfaction, efficiency, and product differentiation, irrespective of the industry type. Traditional way of doing things is very different than the Six Sigma way. Thus, the decision to pursue Six Sigma performance obviously requires a radical change in the way of doing things. Since the huge time and resources cost is involved, it is crucial that Six Sigma projects and activities are linked to the organization's top-level goals. It is even more important that these be the right goals. An organization that uses Six Sigma to pursue the wrong goals will just get to the wrong place more quickly. The organization's goals must ultimately come from the people it serves, customers, shareholders or owners, and employees. Focusing too much on the needs of any one of these groups can be detrimental to all of them in the long run. For example, if an organization is only focusing on customer, its employees might be gone. In a balanced scorecard, senior management translates these stakeholder-based goals into metrics. Strategies are formed and mapped with these goals and metrics, so as to achieve the goals. Dashboards are created to monitor each of the goals. Six Sigma is used then to fill the gaps any metrics are showing, or to develop new processes, products and services that are consistent with the management strategies. A balanced scorecard is a relatively new management concept, got popularized in 1990s. Though the KPIs are nothing new, Kaplan and Norton have recommended broadening the scope of the measures to include 4 areas: financial performance, customer satisfaction, internal business processes, learning and growth. These 4 perspectives represent the organization holistically, not in silos. And within these 4 perspectives, strategic objectives, strategy maps, performance measures, targets and initiatives are developed. This helps in monitoring the present performance as well as in assessing the future performance, as in a more balanced view of the organizational performance. Financial perspective measures the answer to question, how do we look to our shareholders? Market share, revenue growth, financial productivity etc. are the factors which are considered from the financial perspective. Customer perspective focuses on customer satisfaction. This answers the question, how do our customers see us? Considering the factors like customer satisfaction, customer retention and loyalty, new products and markets. Internal business processes perspective focuses on the process quality and cycle time to assess how well the business is running. Various processes at operational level, customer interface level etc. are considered for this perspective. Learning and growth perspective targets the required trainings for successful process implementation. Factors that are considered in this include information capital, human capital, and organizational capital. While creating a balanced scorecard, it is a good idea that both top-level management and line-level employees are involved. A visualization of strategy should be made in the form of strategy maps. Strategy maps help us understand what are our goals and how are they related. Each perspective has some metrics and those are then prioritized and selected by assessing their relative importance. The number of metrics under each perspective should not be very high as that won't be manageable. The main goal of a balanced scorecard is to link strategies to action. This exercise is similar to Hoshinkanri, where measures and metrics are evolved by the organizational level goals. Balanced scorecard is not a one-time activity, it should be visited and updated regularly, as the criticality of things may change over a period of time. A balanced scorecard tells us how will we reach our goals and how can it be tracked. Though the biggest implementation challenge for balanced scorecard is employee motivation. What gets measured gets managed. The choice of what to measure is crucial to the success of the organization. Improperly chosen metrics lead to suboptimal behavior and can lead people away from the organization's goals instead of towards them. We will now move to understand how our metrics developed with the help of balanced scorecard. But before that, let us first see what are the steps to develop a balanced scorecard. The first important step is to identify the core purpose of the organization. We must then decide what all perspectives need improvement or change. Current state and future state should be documented and it will help in identifying the gaps. Strategy maps are developed to understand and visualize goals and strategies, and how are they related. A balanced scorecard is developed to answer how to achieve goals and monitor the performance. Now, we will see how do we arrive on the metrics while creating the balanced scorecard. In balanced scorecard, we list down all 4 perspectives. Then map the objectives with each perspective. Once we decide the objectives, we list down the metrics mapping to each objective. Ideally, there should only be 1 or 2 metrics mapped to each objective. So we have to find out the most relevant metrics out of all the identified metrics, and those relevant metrics must help us in measuring the performance. We must still be thinking, what makes a good measure? As Sir Winston Churchill put it, however beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. Measures and metrics should help us understand if we're executing our strategy well. Just like goals, measures should also be smart. Specific, which means it clearly and precisely states what will be measured. Measurable, which means it is numerical and can be graphed. Actionable, which means results can be easily interpreted and we know what actions to take to effect the measure. Repeatable, which means we can consistently gather information over time. Timely, which means we can measure it at an appropriate frequency. Once chosen, the metrics must be communicated to the members of the organization. A measurement plan should be prepared to detail out at least the definition of each measure, measuring frequency, source, responsibility of data collection. As soon as the metrics are in place, it becomes necessary to monitor them regularly. Changes can be made if we find out that a particular selected metrics is not effectively helping in performance assessment. Now we understand how the drivers and metrics impact the organization. If we don't align them with our business goals, it is very difficult to make sure that everyone is working for the business as a whole, and not working in their own silos. The next module is on the methodologies used in Six Sigma project, and the first methodology that we'll talk about is DFSS, that is Design for Six Sigma. Here, we come to finish the module on Six Sigma and organizational goals. In this module, we covered an introduction to Lean Six Sigma. And by now we should be able to recognize the value of Lean Six Sigma in any organization. We have also understood various key drivers and how the key metrics are derived with the help of scorecard. Here we come to an end to this lesson. Should you need any support, feel free to contact us. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next lesson.